Hey everybody, in today's episode we're going to be discussing emotional management for entrepreneurs. Not stress management, but that's included. Not time management, that's included too. But emotional management in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month in May. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, in today's episode we are going to be talking about emotional management for entrepreneurs. Not stress management, time management, even though that's included. We are talking about emotional management. If you're an entrepreneur, consultant, coach, always helping other people and not necessarily taking care of yourself, then this episode is for you. Stay tuned. When I think about emotional management, I think it's really life. I mean, we talk about living your best life and we talk about living your better life, living life more fully. You still got to deal with your emotions because you're human. If you are looking to build a business, a brand around your life, be prepared to deal with life. All right, everybody, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here at Marketing with Sean, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the little bell for notifications if you like what it is that you see. Also, make sure that you leave comments and let me know if any of the content here resonates with you. I answer all of my comments myself, and I want to make sure that I connect with you. As mentioned, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, the month of May. And this topic is very near and dear to my heart. So I decided to kind of switch up a little bit, get a little comfortable, right? My jean jacket and lay back so that we can actually have a real heart-to-heart conversation. I'm going to share my story and also the story of some of my clients and loved ones so that you can really understand. And again, that's with their permission. So let me be clear, with their permission, and so that you can understand the severity and the importance of emotional management. Now, why do I call it emotional management and not mental health for entrepreneurs? Well, entrepreneurs, we are a unique people. I've been building my business full time for over 25 years. This is my 25th year this year. I was able to do it. I was newly married. I had one child maybe when I started, I don't know. I now have 5 children. I've homeschooled children, gone through divorce, lost a parent, and dealing with an elderly parent, remarried, moved to a different state, moved to several different states. So I want to let you know that I hear you. I see you. I'm so glad that you came upon this video. And even if I get emotional, it's because I really do care and I really want you to get the help that you need. So if this is an emergency situation, if you are searching this video as a last resort, you are ready to quit, hurt yourself or someone else, I want you to stop this video. Well, not quite. I want you to go to the resources listed below. Reach out to the National Suicide Helpline. Reach out to BetterHelp, which is again a resource where you'll have opportunity to talk to a counselor or a therapist. It's so important because you matter. Your life matters. Your purpose still exists. It still exists why you were created. And so if that is you, I want to let you know that I am here for you. I hope this video, up until this point even, encourages you to not give up and get the help that you need. And I'll be praying for you. Okay. I know I had to deal with the emergency stuff right off the top. And here's why. The reason why I decided to do this specifically for entrepreneurs is because we are always doing, we're building, we're growing, we're risk takers, we're high achievers. People seem to think, especially if you're a 6, 7, 8-figure earner, you're public on social media, you're out there doing videos and podcasts and conferences and all of these things. People think that you're good. And I want to let you know that I see you. I know how much you're pushing down, pressing down, pushing away, and I want to help you with some simple tips and strategies along with my story and the story of some of my clients. Because I started building my business, as I mentioned, in the 90s. I know some of you may not even be old enough to realize that was an era. But yeah, in the 90s. And one of the things that made the difference is that I was surrounded by a great, supportive, supportive of my children. We'll talk about that too. But an extended family. And when I went through a very difficult time in my life, I was in a new state, a different state, and I was married with 5 children who were being homeschooled as well. Now, I know that already may seem overwhelming to you, but that was my life. And so it was when we decided to get a divorce after 20 years of marriage, with no one else around us, no one else having been through a divorce, both of our parents being married for 40 plus years, and we decided to get a divorce. I got to tell you, it was nothing that I expected or intended, and because many of my friends who have known me for a long time actually don't even know this story, it's why I already prepared you that it may be a little emotional. So here I am in this foreign land, if you will, with a large family, building my business, but always I built my business around them. And so I made a lot of sacrifices, and in some cases, bad decisions for my business in order to make sure that I was always there for them. So here it is. I now have to make a whole lot of different decisions at once. And I found myself depressed. I actually was rushed to the hospital after having a panic attack. I didn't even know what a panic attack was. And they had thought that I had a heart attack. It was so weird because I was at the orthodontist with my daughter, and I kept saying that my chest was hurting and I could not lift my left arm. So let me give you the first tip with emotional management, especially for those of you who are used to being the go-to people. You're used to being the one that always has it together. Please hear me. The first step is to pause and assess. I really want you to pause for as long as you need to pause and assess the following areas. Number 1, your physical being in this moment. Are you having headaches, back, throat, eyes? There's a lot that happens when you are emotionally out of whack. And so I want you to really think, how have you been sleeping? How have you been eating? How have you been actively moving to give your body release from tension, no matter what it is that you do on your job? Ask yourself those questions and stay still and be honest with yourself. I'm not talking about telling anybody else at this point. I'm not talking about rushing you to the doctor yet. But I want you to really assess. We're so good at doing that it's really time for you to be. Pause, assess, and really feel what it is that you're feeling. Now, the second step in that is make sure that you are feeling your feelings. Now, again, I am not a therapist. This is not a therapy session. This is an opportunity for you in your private time to decompress and really deal with what's going on with you so that you can know when to go to the doctor, when to go to the therapist, when to pray, when to unplug. Yeah, because we're going to get to the decision soon. And so in that feeling your feelings, what is the source of these emotions? Is it something that has actually happened? Or is it fear of something that might happen? So I want you to really pull those things apart. Sometimes we're stressed, and we're stressed because that's really kind of the nature of being in business, you guys. I mean, life is stressful. That's why I'm like, you want to understand stress, how it can work for you, and what you can do in those times where the stress is high. But I'm not going to tell you you're living stress-free. I can't even imagine, especially because as entrepreneurs, we're taking risks all the time. So stress-free, no, that's not what you're going to get from me. Now, if you want me to talk about some stress management tips or whatever that's not covered here, just go ahead and post that in the comments below. When it comes to feeling your feelings, you have to really decide what actually is real and what is being compounded by some external forces. Okay? A lot of times, especially in the social world, we are comparing ourselves. We're competing with these visions that are really only partial. Okay, so can I just be honest? I mean, you only can see so much of me in my life or in a video. You can only see so much in pictures. I don't care if the pictures are in Dubai, Fiji, or whatever. You're only seeing so much. You're not seeing the receipts. You're not seeing the work behind the scenes. You're not seeing all of the things that it takes to get to these points and these places and these opportunities. So are you feeling feelings because you're choosing to focus on something external, something outside of you, something you don't have any control over? Are you feeling depressed because of something that you're seeing on the news? Are you feeling overwhelmed because of something that, like I said, you see on social? So feel those feelings, and it's okay. Pull them apart. Determine what is actually you're feeling. Grief, loss, rejection. Those. It's okay to feel those feelings. But I want to encourage you to start to release those things that are out of your control. Those things that you're focusing on. Like, so you're following the news, or maybe it's some drama. You may need to let those go for now until you can get better so that you can do what it is that you've been called and purposed to do in your life. So 2, feel those feelings, separate them apart. Now, number 3, let's talk about the ones that actually are real. You, loss, sadness, depression, they are, now some people won't agree with me. They can happen. What I want to encourage you, and I listed a lot of resources in the description, but I want you to think about the mental toughness. So step number 3 is address those emotions that are real for you and make a conscious decision to think about what you're thinking about. Now, I know that seems a little crazy. I want you to think about what you're thinking about. Again, I'm being just really myself in this video, okay? So here it is. Back to my story. I'm trying to decide, how am I going to stay in this, where we're living, so that the children can be near their father, so that I can still build my business and I can still homeschool them, and what's going to happen? How can I afford it? How am I going to get insurance? I was thinking about all of these things, running through these matters and issues that are real. And yet, I had to put a timer on it. So, number 4, I want you to consciously stop and think about what you're thinking about, and then think something different. When I say stop, think something different. And when I say think something different, think about what one thing in that moment you can do to disrupt, to change the game, to relieve yourself of some of these thoughts, even if it is for but a moment. That means unplugging your phone. That means turning off the TV. That means going for a walk. If it means taking a bath, if it means grabbing some water. Oh my gosh, what you eat makes such a difference when your emotions are out of whack. If it means grabbing some fruit, if it means sitting still and meditating, crying, praying, whatever that is for you. Whatever that is for you, that's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do right now when your emotions are out of whack. I want you to stop and think something different. I am sure as an entrepreneur, you have books, audios, courses. Sometimes that may not be enough. So the next thing that I'm going to suggest may be a little counterintuitive, because it's going to kind of contrast what it is that you're doing now and what it is that I'm suggesting. But the next step I'm going to encourage you to do is get social. Get to someone who you can be vulnerable with, who you can confide in, who you can share something. You don't have to tell them everything. But don't stay in isolation. Somewhere someone wants to hug you. Somewhere someone wants to pray for you. Somewhere someone just wants to listen. So I'm going to say get social. Get out of the space, that headspace, long enough to reach out to one person. Just one. It could be a pastor. It could be a therapist. It could be a friend. Make sure it's the right friend. We're going to talk about that in a little bit too. But I want you to tell someone some of what you're feeling so that you can get some of the pressure, because the goal is for you to get out of your headspace, to get some comfort and some relief as soon as possible. That doesn't mean it's going to go away, but it does mean that you are not isolating and further going down that valley and that pit. For me, I actually happened to have a good friend who was a therapist. And I called and I told her, I said, my chest is hurting. I can't move my arm. I don't know what to do. And I'm scared. So let's lay the cards on the table. Fear is real. Now, I know some people are going to disagree with me. It serves a purpose, right? It keeps you from going into a lion's den. It serves a purpose, but only for an actual real situation. A lot of times we are afraid, and it's something what we're thinking about. Like I said, it's something that we don't have any control over. But when it is something that we do have control over, that we're actually experiencing, let's acknowledge it when you're talking to that person and actually move in a different direction, not toward just relief, but restoration with help. Okay? You need guidance. Something has happened. You are out of whack. Get guidance. Get help. Period. Do not be ashamed. Do not allow other people's opinions of getting help to keep you from getting help. I've actually had someone say to me, well, I mean, you always have good advice. Why can't you just fix it yourself? I'm also human. And there also are times where I need some help too. So when I talked to her and I told her what I was dealing with and what I was going through, she told me, get to an urgent care. Get to emergency. Get to an emergency room right away. That's what she said. And I didn't like it because I didn't want to leave my kids. I didn't want to pay for urgent care. All of these things that you're talking yourself out of what's going to help you, do it. When you get to the point where you can't help yourself, you're not going to help yourself, you're unwilling, you're unable, take the advice and actually go. I go to urgent care. Wow. I guess I can't tell the story. I go to urgent care, and as I mentioned earlier, stand-up comedian. I go to urgent care, and there is actually someone at the urgent care who knows me and just saw me perform like the weekend before. And all of a sudden, I completely ignore my symptoms. I'm like, yeah, we're taking pictures. This is a true story, you guys. Again, it sounds crazy, but it's true. And I go to urgent care, and I am feeling good. I am taking selfies, and I'm feeling a little famous. Again, it was before Instagram and all. Well, maybe not before Instagram, but again, actually might have been before Instagram. But anyway, I'm feeling famous, and I'm feeling excited. And she's telling her friends, and I'm cracking some jokes. And she takes my EKG. And then she leaves. Now, I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I've talked to my girlfriend. But I don't want to talk to the person closest to me. And that's my then husband. We're going through a divorce. But who's going to take care of the kids? At some point, I had to do something because, again, I don't have any other family. So I had her to call him. And immediately, just a feeling of, honestly, you guys, relief and disappointment. It's okay. Not everybody's going to respond the way you think they're going to respond. He just happened to be out of town at the time. He was close enough that he did get there in time. But I'm at the urgent care, and I called my family in another state. My sister has a complete come apart. She's crying. She's scared. What's going to happen to you? Side note. Remember I said I was going to say something about friends and family? Call the right person, the best person who can stay calm in situations. Don't call the one who's going to have a complete come apart. That's what I did. And matters only got worse. She calls my parents. Now they're rushing me to the hospital. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? I'm not even 40 years old, you guys. I was 39 years old at the time. And I'm sitting here going, what in the world is going to happen to me? I am active in my church. I'm a believer. Yes, I am. And I am having a complete come apart. So another side note, just because you have faith doesn't mean that you can handle your emotions all the time. It doesn't mean that. It means you can rely on a source outside of you. But if you are already in emotional breakdown, your faith probably is kind of low. It may even feel non-existent. Maybe you're in a place where you're mad at God. So I want you to know it's okay. Get help. Whatever it is that you need, do it because you matter. Anyway, long story short, well, I'm looking at the video. It is getting kind of long. But what I want you to know is that I did go to the hospital. I did have to stay for 2 days. I did get all of these tests. I thought I had had a heart attack, but actually, my heart was broken. I want you guys to really get that. There is a physical link to your emotions. No matter what you think, no matter how spooky that may sound. And so here it is. I have to make a choice. They do stress tests. They do all that stuff. The last step in your emotional management as an entrepreneur is decide and choose you. You heard me. I said choose you. Not your practice, not your clients, not your bag that you don't want to secure so bad. Choose you. I had to shut down. Yeah, I had to tell some clients I had to lose some money to gain my life, to gain my sanity, to gain my strength. I want you to know that if you are looking at your results, you're looking at your bottom line, you're looking at your revenue, you're pop, 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 and yet you're not well, you're going to lose out on the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It is really my heart's desire in this video that you realize that emotions are important, that they matter, And that no matter how super bad you are, no matter how alpha you are, or whatever it is, the term that you use for your superpower, you still are human. And I am not going to tell you that it's more important for you to just keep going and keep going and keep going. Absolutely not. If you have to shut down your website, your funnel, your ads for a time, I applaud you. I applaud you because life is important. It's important. It was given to you for this season, for you to do more than just be super bad, but for you to be whole, healthy, and to grow. I hope that this story, these encouragement, these tips, and the insight and the information that's given in the resources in the description, you pursue. I want to close by saying, man, mental health matters. Being depressed, because I didn't just end it there. I didn't just let my business go. I was in therapy for a year. I was taking antidepressants. Yes, every day in order to function. I was still praying. I was still going to church. I was still building my life and believing in my dreams. But I had to shift and decide to choose me so that I could be better for those for which I'm responsible. Not just my children, but myself. So, if, again, you are someone who's watched this video and you're like, man, I still don't feel any better, cool. Get some help. If you watch this video and you're like, hey, you know what? I think I am going to do that. I think I am going to walk away, take a break, take a leave, reduce my client load. Whatever that is, I applaud you as well. Be sure to leave some comments and make sure that you know that you matter. And you're not alone. You're not the only one. And there is hope. There is strength. There is love on the other side. I'm praying for you. I believe in you. I don't believe you came across this video by accident. And I'm looking forward to hearing about your turnaround, what it is that you did, what it is that you decided, so that you can better manage your emotions and go ahead and live the life that God intended for you. Again, if you enjoyed any aspect of this video, make sure that you subscribe. I am Shawn LeSuer. I'm a digital marketing expert, agency owner, and founder of the Cash Copy Converting Cash Copy course. I forgot the name of it. What is it now? We change them all the time. Thanks so much, everybody.